Now it should be fixed. Welcome everyone, welcome to the stream. Yes, finally. So I always forget to unmute my microphone. How you guys doing? Happy Ramadan, first of all, to the Muslim brothers. Let's pick some demos from the Discord audience. So how was your month, guys? Write me in the chat. Let's talk a little bit since we are waiting some more demos. Yeah. In Turkey, it's like, I think 9 days of holidays, you know, so it's so silent. Everyone just go to holidays to the seaside. Now I can finally enjoy the silence of Istanbul. You made 3 tracks. That's awesome, brother. Nice. Should we start with Reburned and Rewind and Mokina CL, The Rising Sun? Let's see what kind of big room they cooked for us. Okay, I'm gonna start with this one. Let me know if the volume of the stream is okay. I usually just lower it maybe 1 dB, so not to clip. Okay, let's go.
Oh shit, we on the east side.
Nice one, bros. I really enjoyed it. Like the whole arrangement is killing, you know. Like there's always surprise in the track. The first drop is totally different than the second drop. The break section, like you are using the Japanese vibe, you know, that kind of sounds. I think it's pretty nice. I like it. I just have some criticism on the low end for the drops. So for the first drop, I think you need a little bit bigger sub. The bass is okay, but the sub could be just louder. Let me see how it looks. It actually looks good, but yeah, I think the sub is okay. Probably C sharp. The notice C sharp is kind of too low. Right now, I cannot just hear the sub. Let me just turn on my volume.
Oh shit, we on the east side.
I don't know, it looks okay, but like when I check from here, yes, I think you can just boost the sub a little bit more. Maybe it's not the bass. Yeah, the low end is kind of too much, but at the same time it's not enough. Like just in this frequency, in the very subs region, like 40 hertz or something. I'm not sure if the kick missing or the bass missing that frequency, but you know, when you check this frequency graph, we should have the biggest peak on the 40 hertz area, you know, something like that. So in the first row, I will just look at it. Let me hear once more. Probably the kick, man. Like the kick needs more of the sub. So you can just try to boost the tail, like the sub of the kick, like 40 hertz a little bit. So make sure you in the span you see like the first biggest hit starts on like the 40 hertz or something, 40, 50. But currently we have the first peak like coming in 60 hertz and the second peak like 128 hertz. So we are definitely missing the sub frequency. So I will just EQ the kick a little bit in the subs. So then every kick hits is gonna make sense. Currently the kick is kind of too mid oriented, too weak. Yeah, maybe. Low sharp maybe could have to clean it up. Sure. And yes, boost the sub. That's it. That's what I will do. For the second drop. This time the opposite. You have a perfect sub. This is what should we see in the first drop, you know, like this graphic, like this peak on the kick. Which means the kick is hitting as hard as it should be. But in the second drop, kind of this time we are missing the upper bass. You know, the sub is okay, but the upper bass like 80 hertz to 200 hertz. This area could be a little bit warmer. You can use saturation, you can use EQ, you can solve it, you know. I will just boost that frequency a little bit more, and you will see all the low end is gonna be so much fat, so much, you know, warm. And just this, bro, other than that, I think it's sick. Maybe the high end too harsh. I'm not sure. Maybe. I'm not sure about the high end. Let the chat decide for it. I think it's okay for a big room track, but could it be more clean? Yeah, just check it out. Maybe the leads and maybe the white noises in the drop may be too harsh. I'm not sure. The break vocals could be a little bit louder, by the way. I couldn't understand the lyrics, but the break vibe is perfect. It's so cool. Welcome to the stream, everyone, by the way. Every one of you. Thanks for your support. Yeah, bro, that's it. Very sick track. Just fix these little problems in the low end and just check the high end. I couldn't be sure. Maybe it's too harsh, you know, just compare it with some reference tracks. But overall, sick track. Like the production wise, it's so interesting. It makes me keep listening the whole thing, you know. That's perfect. So yeah, thanks for this submission. Guys, welcome to the stream. Don't forget to like it for the YouTube algorithm. It could be a nice support to the team. Yeah, Eclipse is right. Vocals are really cool. Just try to boost it up a little bit and it's perfect. Just agree. Yes. That's perfect. Let's go to the second track. Meanwhile, let me just load one more track from Discord.
We go higher to the sky, reaching up, but I can't fly. You said you'd follow me anywhere, but I can't see you. You don't even care. I wanted more than you could give me. You were afraid to see what I see. reaching up, but I can't fly. You said you'd follow me anywhere, but I can't see you. You don't even care. I wanted more than you could give me. Give me. You were afraid to see what I see. I see. Thought this was love. I know that it ain't enough. I pray to the stars above. Won't you just hear me? Hear me? You left me on my own. I believed in you. I believed in you. You turned my heart to stone when I needed you. When I needed you.
Such a nice vibes, yeah, like the cargo vibes, the summer vibes, the positive vibes. I very enjoying this kind of tracks. In my opinion, this track is kind of lacking the high frequencies. The high energy is missing in the in the mix. For example, this screenshot of the span is like the most crowded part of the drop. Okay, like in here we have the melody, we have all the drums, you know, the open hi-hats, like all the drums, claps, the kick bass. And if you check, the low end is like hitting like this height, right? So high end should, I think, kind of equal. Currently we are lacking the high end, so you can just volume up your hi-hats, that kind of stuff, so you can have a little bit better tonal balance. So this sound, I think this is from the lead itself. It's like 300 hertz. It's occupying, so it's kind of too much, you know. Be careful on 300 hertz area. It should ideally it shouldn't be louder than your low end. So you can just dip this frequency a little bit. And also for more clarity, yep, someone in the chat says it's a little bit muddy, right? Because of this 300 hertz. So you gotta dip those frequencies a little bit. And also you should boost 4K to 5K a little bit, so you can have more clarity and less muddiness in the mix. So it's already very decent. You can handle it just by EQing the individual channels, fixing the volume balances. I think that's it. One more thing, the vocal could be a little bit wet. I think it was too dry. I will give more reverb and also obviously more delay. Even I could automate the delay, you know, do something like that, because if the vocal is carrying this break section, make sure the vocal has enough processing, you know, enough polishing.
But I can't fly. You said you'd follow me
There's no delay in the vocal. It should delay, yeah.
anywhere.
You know, it's the anywhere, 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 some ping-pong delay. Could just definitely, you know, put the vibe to the high level, next level. One more thing,
But I can't.
I would volume up the drop bass. At least maybe I would saturate it. It's kind of too clean, I think. Yeah, bro, like you have a very promising track. Just work on these little things. And I think it could be like a dope radio-friendly track, you know. Thanks for sending this banger. I really enjoy this one. Let's go to the Sparkles track. Actually, I like the idea. Like the break is kind of very like energetic. The drops are okay. The build up needs work. But the most obvious problem with this track, I think the low end. When we check it with span, you know, this is the kick, right? Hitting F1 like this. A kick hits 40 hertz, perfect. And the bass starts on the second octave, D2. So the lowest bass is on the 74 hertz. You know, that's the problem, because you just need to have a sub in like here, 35 hertz. The low end, the kick is okay in my opinion. Maybe people says like maybe the kick's missing some tail. Maybe that's the case. But I think the major problem is the low end, the rolling bass. It doesn't have the sub frequencies. It's like 1 octave higher than it should be. That's why it's not starting from the sub. It's starting from the second octave. It's like it should be start on the D1, but now it starts on the D2. That's why the very low octave is kind of very like empty. You know, there is no power in the sub frequencies. So what you could do, you can just layer a rumble, you know, or a sub that hits to the D1, like to the root key. When you do that, I think the low end is gonna be okay. That's the thing. Let's check the drop again. I think the main sound, kind of too harsh, you know, especially in the high frequencies. So how to get rid of these peaks, you know, the harsh peaks? You can just saturate it. You know, you can distort it. You can use Saturn or similar plugins. Maybe you can only, you know, do some tape saturation. The saturation always get rid of the peaks. If you have a sound that has too much spikes and it's harsh, just saturate it and it's gonna be tamed. So I think the main sound needs some taming, and I will also reduce a little bit of 300 Hz again. For example, the bass on the break is bigger than the bass on the drop, because in here you just use a different layer, different sound, which contains the sub very well. If we jump to the drop, you will hear that like the very low of the rumble, the sub is missing. So yeah, I will just put a rumble, you know, high cut it, put a rumble that hits to the sub frequencies. That will be enough. It needs some snares, like tuk, 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 tuk. I don't hear any snares in the last parts. Maybe the snares are love cutting too sudden. So still keep the power, bro. And maybe the second drop needs kind of like a variation. It's not same as the first drop. I will just add some variations. By the way, I like the description in the track. He says like, just imagine after the Turkish protest, the government just go away and we are just raving to this track whole country. So I wish we could see that days, bro. I wanna see Erdogan as well. Okay, jumping to the next one. for the vibe, I'm already hooked to the track. Like the groove is so nice. It's like the tech and also the dark melodic vibes. I very like it. Yeah, it's so clean. Yeah, Runmo is right. It's so clean track. So first of all, there's one thing I'm gonna explain why I ask if you are using Ableton. The first thing before that, the low end in the drop, just volume up the bass, bro. The bass compared to the kick is very low, so you can go louder. Most important that the sub should be a little bit more loud in the mix, maybe more saturation for the bass. So the drop bass, I couldn't hear it. I feel it, you know, but it was so subtle. So bring it up the bass, the first thing. The second thing in the break, the bass you are using is unfortunately 1 octave lower than it should be. So if we check with span, you see the bass is hitting the D0 this time. It's like too low, you know, it's out of the human hearing range. Humans can hear maximum 20 hertz, cannot hear lower frequencies. So make sure to put your bass 1 octave higher. Currently, as you see, the bass hits to the 0, octave 0, D0, 18 hertz, which we cannot hear, and none of the speakers can produce that sound. And your sub region is totally empty, there's no bass. We have some frequency in here, yeah, so fix the re-bass, the break bass. Probably you should put it 1 octave higher, then it's gonna sit well in the mix. As Yellow says, the drop lead could use some saturation or maybe also some OTT, so it could bring some life to the synth. The thing why I ask if you are using Ableton or not, because when I listen the kick bass, you know, I feel like there are kind of the groove, the side chains could out of sync a little bit. I'm asking, let me ask this: are you side chaining with Kickstart or LFO to some, you know, volume shapers like that? Or are you just using a sidechain compressor? Which one are you using? Because it's so important. You know, like in Ableton, so you are using Kickstart and stuff. Okay, so this is what I always face this problem with my students who use Ableton. So the sync in Ableton is shit, okay? So it cannot sync this kind of plugins to the BPM. I don't know why it's so hard, but there's always some shift, you know. When you put Kickstart like this, for example, you put it like that, okay, for the bass, it works like this. Or, you know, like this. It doesn't make sense. It's totally out of sync. The Ableton cannot calculate the latency of this plugin. There are the latency calculation problem, which is known, and they are not solving it, or they couldn't do it, I don't know, because of the Ableton. Yeah, it's not compensating plugin delay. No, in Kickstart, especially in Kickstart and LFO tool, the Ableton cannot do that. So that's why all of the producers I know who use Ableton, if they are using Kickstarts to sidechain, you gotta do like that. You gotta choose audio, okay? You gotta choose audio in here instead of sync. And then you gotta just sidechain the Kickstart. For example, this is in the bass channel, let's say. You need to just sidechain the kick to the bass channel, and then you should use audio. So the Kickstart is gonna get triggered by the kick channel. Then it's starting to put everything in sync. Then it works properly. If you just go to the sync mode, Ableton delay latency compensation is very bad. So the groove is like, you know, is not flowing. You know, it's like someone just trying to walk or run, but it's doing it very, very unsymmetrical way. I don't know. It's so hard to explain in English for me. Yeah, bro. Just make all of the Kickstarts trigger from the audio. Everyone, if you are using Ableton, then you will see the difference, and it's gonna be day and night. Yeah, that's it. That's why I asked if you are using Ableton or not. Other than that, the track is sick, I think. Very nice. Yeah, I didn't know either, man. Like I think I got it a couple months ago. like we were doing the regular stuff, and when we rendered the tracks, all the sidechains were shifted. Then it was out of the place, so we figured out somehow, asking in another producer who use Ableton, and he says like Ableton cannot have the compensated latency. That's why you just need to trigger it from the kick. So you can just if you have a top kick, or you can make a ghost kick channel, like a very short kick, it will be much more cleaner. Because all you gotta do is just trigger the sidechain with just a simple signal, you know. It could be just a kick transient as a ghost channel. Shaperbox, I'm not sure, but LFO tool and kickstarts was same. I didn't test the Shaperbox in Ableton. Yeah. Okay, let's jump to the next one. like very on point vibes. Whatever you did this in this track, I feel it. I feel it in my bones. The melodies were super emotional, and it's touched my heart. I love it. Congrats on this one. The thing is, the track is missing the hook. Everything is in there, every spice is in there, but the main ingredient is not inside of this track. So maybe just a spoken vocal, or maybe some, I don't know, some emotional, like maybe some angelic voice, like something like that. In the break section, it needed. In the pre-drops, you could use it. So try to give some identity, some theme, some story for this track. I think that's what it requires. Other than that, you have every element in here. It was kind of silent, that's why I couldn't hear it properly, but you can just master it better, a little bit more loud. That's easy stuff. Also in the second drop, just add a, just a pre-drop feel. You can put a little bit more, ear candy overall. Also there was ba-ba-ba-bum, 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 like a consistent arpeggiato. It was kind of too silent, and I could barely hear it compared to the other elements. So try to volume up this arp as well. Yeah, so you couldn't find a vocal that fit the vibe. You know what you could do? You could try AI, man. Like, this website, the Temple. So I was exploring this website. I already shoot a video. I'm not sure the prices though, because they gifted me, Dude, it's nothing, like $7. And also you have the light box, up to 4 minutes generator. It's cheap, man. It's worth to try. I just generate some of the acapellas in here. You can generate some music. It also writes you the BPM. Even you can specify the key. Even you can specify the chords, like this. So you can just kind of create a vocal. Yeah, maybe you can create a vocal like this. And you can extract it, just get the acapella, and you can just smash it some delay reverb, and it could be used in this track. I will try AI vocals. Yeah, put me on the vocals. Yeah. You can sing it, if you can afford it, and if your voice is bad, you can sing it, and you can work with a vocalist, or you can try the other AI stuff that fix your voice. Yeah, but just find a hook to this track. That's it, man. Yeah, autotune and Udemy, it works. Definitely. Nice track, bro. So, Adrift, what do you ask? If the span in right and correlation meter hitting -1 is because of phasing issues. Yes. So, if the span in the correlation meter, even the full track, or maybe you can just solo an individual sound and look at the correlation meter. If the correlation meter stays on the negative side all the time, it's bad, which means you are phasing, the sounds are phase canceling each other. If it's on the +1, just hitting to the +1 without moving, which means the sound is mono, that's also bad. So it should move, from 0 to 1, it should move. This is the most ideal scenario. It could go below 0 time to time, that's okay. The problem is staying below the 0. That's it. Yo, Matt, welcome, brother. Welcome to stream. Yes.
Sex, skill, space, and thrill. 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 This is how we like to party. Sex, skill, space, and thrill. Get up on the floor, get naughty. Sex, skill, space, and thrill. This is how we like to party. Sex, skill, space, and thrill. Get up on the floor, get naughty. Sex, skill, space, and thrill. This is how we like to party. Sex, skill, space, and thrill. Get up on the floor, get naughty.
Like overall, such the Medics vibes, you know. The steps are so huge. The low end is very big and powerful. So I didn't realize it at first, but the Nick says like there's something wrong with the master because the master was not hit to the 0 dB. So I just check it out and the master hits like to minus 2 dB. Why would you do that in the master? You know, if you have the ceiling in minus 2, which means your track is gonna like compress it more. Because I was trying to understand why the low end seems over compressed. I think it's because of this. Like the low end could be more dynamic, but I think maybe because of 2 dB, minus 2 dB peak, it's just the limiters keep compressing the low end because like the RMS or the loops value was like minus 6, minus 7. It was already too loud, but it should peak at 0 dB, you know, at least minus 0.3, something like that, not minus 2. So you are just compressing it 2 dBs than it should be, and it's adding some more digital distortion to the track, more limiting over compressing feeling. So I will just fix this one. Yeah. Yeah, probably about the maximizer. Yo, yellow, I don't know bobbers. What is that? So bro, I think you can just check it out on the master. I love the arrangement, everything is nice. The vocals may be too wide. I think it has like a house effect, but kind of it's overly extended in the stereo spectrum maybe. Because also sometimes I just couldn't understand what the vocals are saying. I get it eventually, but maybe they could sit in a more narrow side on the mix. You can just test it out. Yeah, till Nick says me, I didn't realize it either, but after I check it, I saw the peak was minus 2. So if you just put it to the 0, you will see that the track is gonna be much more dynamic than currently. Maybe the hi-hats were a little bit too harsh. I would lower maybe 1 dB or something, or maybe I could just EQ. The vocals could use some de-essing, and other than that, it's a sick track, bro. It's so huge, I like it. I like this Medics vibes already. Thanks for this banger. Let's jump to the Roberts track.
On some funky pills, baby. wanting some funky pills, baby. Funky pills, baby. Funky pills, baby.
Like overall very high energy track. It's solid, man. It's very solid. First of all, the kick and rumble is perfect. Like it's so huge and it's well mixed. The yellow says it's leg dynamics and special swing. Yeah, I will just maybe go I don't know, a top, a mid bass and has a little bit swing. That could be the case. Or maybe you could go more gritty layer in the mid frequencies, just like the the hard techno tracks. Currently, like this kick and the sub, the rumble sits well, but it's missing some special texture in the low mid frequencies. I will just take a look of it. Also, I feel like there's kind of like an overcompression in the second drop. I can just check the leads in the break, in the build up, and check the same sound, the lead sound in the drop. It gets compressed a lot. In the build up, it's louder than in the drop. So maybe you can lower the build up a little bit more so the drop could impact bigger. Yeah, the vocals, I heard a track in Will Sparks. I think the vocals are nice. It's kind of overused, but if you don't planning to release this track in a big label, I think it fits well with the track and totally usable in my opinion. And other than that, I like the energy, man. I think that the track needs some spice, like a texture in the drop. I would add a grit layer, just like a gritty, distorted, hard techno, low mid layer. Yeah, the rest is very nice in my opinion. The master is also so loud. And these wobble parts, man, it's so unusual. I like it. Even like how you start the track, it's so surprising. Perfect sound.
Some funky.
Maybe a white noise, like a sweep, just in the beginning. Yeah, minus 5.5 RMS. It's extremely loud. It's very loud. Well mastered, man. Yeah. Nothing to criticize in my opinion. It's already so sick, like a so big and full track with tons of energy. I like this. Thanks for this demo. But don't forget the grit layer. The low end needs that spice. It's gonna take the track to the next level, I promise.
You gave me air somehow. In the night, thinking you'll keep me safe and sound. I keep on thinking that you'll come around, come around. I keep on hoping that you'll bring me high when I'm down. I keep on thinking that you'll come around, come around. I keep on hoping that you'll come and save me now. Save me now. Running faith that I had in you. Still I stay here and wait for something you never do. I keep on thinking that you'll come around, come around. I keep on hoping that you'll bring me high when I'm down. I keep on thinking that you'll come around, come around. I keep on hoping that you'll come and save me now. Save me now. Running, falling down, hoping you'll save me. Running, falling down, hoping you'll save me now. Running, falling down, hoping you'll save me. Running, falling down, hoping you'll save me now. Save me now. Save me now. Save me now. Hoping you'll save me now.
Bro, these vibes, I like it. Such a radio-friendly track and very good emotions. I very enjoyed the track. The low end, like the kick and bass is perfect, but I will have, just, who says that? Yes, Sebarius says like, it needs more meats in the bass. I totally agree. The bass is very low oriented, but it could have some mid frequencies as well because it's gonna help the basses still be sounding good in the small speakers. Because currently you won't hear much bass in the small speakers. Other than that, I think the kick needs some top layer. The sub is good, but the top layer, it could be a little bit more clicky in my opinion to cut through the mix. Yeah, for personally, other than that, one more thing, and rest is dope. One more thing, the vocals need some delay tails in the gaps. You could just fill that gaps with some automated delay tails. Currently, the vocal is kind of too dry, and when she not sings, the gaps are kind of too much, too big. So there's some room for ear candy improvements. Yeah, bro, that's it. Such a nice track. Thanks for sending this banger again. Here we go. So it's a brutal track, guys. Actually, I don't know how to give feedback to this kind of tracks. In terms of production and arrangement, I have no idea how this genre works. You know, I never listened this. Is it industrial, or people say like other genres as well, jump style? So I think what I can criticize is when the drop hits with the kicks, the kick and bass is extremely big, but the synths are kind of missing in every drop, you know. It's maybe because this is overcompressed. Critic. Yeah, critic. Yeah. Thanks, bro. You saved me. So, for example, let's check the first drop. So just check this sound, for example. In the drop, the sound gets extremely pushed back behind of the kick. Is it normal?
Burn it back.
So I would, you know, the vocal is very upfront. I would lower the vocal for sure. And then when the drop hits, I would expect the leads more in your face. But I'm not sure, is it the genre specific thing or not. So the mixing could be more clean. Yeah, in this part, the melody synth, it could have some shorter MIDI or maybe less release. I would just go with a more tighter ADSR settings in this part. So many switches in the track. Yeah, for example, Techno. Even I bought some of their packs. So yeah, they know how to give, you know, make these sounds, and they know how to give feedbacks as well. So with all the respect, I have no idea what to say to this track because I don't listen this at all. But overall nice. You have cool kicks, I think. For personally, you know, there are so many switches, but I would expect, what I would look in a track is like an obvious hook, you know. In this track, I have many different switches with many different parts, with different parts of drops. But when you combine them in total, I couldn't find any hook in the track. So maybe that's another feedback. But bro, all the respects, I have no idea how to give feedback to an industrial techno track. But anyways, thanks for sending this banger, man. It's very hard for sure. It's banging for sure. Yeah, it's like probably I damaged my speakers because how loud and brutal this track was. I'm jumping to next one. Okay, it's Runmo's turn. like I wasn't expecting this much groovy track with these wobbles and this drum and bass vibe. I'm totally hooked, man. I like it. The sirens are so nice. The vocals were kind of missing. I will just volume up the vocals. And also, again, I realized some misplaced bass. Let's find it. Yeah, in this part, let me check it again. Okay, so the bass in the beginning is kind of too low. Maybe put it one octave higher. So it's, I think, in the A note, right? Yeah. So I think this is kind of too low. That's probably impossible to hear. So maybe you can, because in the bottom, as you see, like it says A0. It's not in the first octave. So the A note, the note of A starts from 55 hertz. So yeah, make sure to put this bass one octave higher. It's okay in the second break though. You see in the second break it's totally okay. It's hitting the right octave. This time you're hitting F1. So the thing is, like, the bass in here, I thought it was on purpose. I'm not sure because it's kind of hard to produce if you are placing an A note in the 25 hertz. You could still have it weak, but this one is not weak, but like every speaker is gonna try to produce that sound, but it's impossible to produce in the low levels because it's 25 hertz. It's like kind of extremely low frequency. And in the second octave, this bass, I think it's just a sine wave, right? Maybe you could saturate it and get some upper harmonics as well. It could, cover more warm sound, warm frequency. And also volume up the vocals just a little bit. Yeah, maybe Camel Crusher is enough, but you can try subtractive synthesis. Instead of using a sine wave and saturate it, you can try to use, I don't know, a triangle or a square wave and high cut it. Maybe you will have a little bit warmer low end. But saturation with Camel Crusher is okay. So you can just try to, I don't know, just put a little bit more tube or merge. And then you can high cut it, That also work. Bro, like the wobbles, the groove, it was perfect. It's such a nice track. I'm talking about so little details. It's awesome, man. Yeah, it's a very clean track, for sure. So, Ariona, welcome, brother. It's good, how you doing? So, hey man, how are you? I'm 36 years old. It's 36. Yep, bro, thanks for this banger.
Was it all a dream?
Yeah, man, what a unique track that we listened today. I like the idea, the arrangement is very nice. I think the drop needs work, the low end. Someone says in the chat the low kick could be boosted a little bit. I will check it out for sure. The top kick was okay. So the bass was like a big room bass, I will just try an offbeat bass and see, like a Melbourne bass, or yeah, like an offbeat rave bass, something like that. Maybe it could fit also. The drop leads I think needs a little bit variation. It's kind of too stable, especially two drops are same. So I will try to add some variation, at least in the second drop. Or also I would add some ear candies to the drops, which could make it much more, interesting. Is rave a genre? Not specifically, but you can say that. Yeah, you can say that. Like it's like subgenre of techno. You can just search with rave tracks, and you will hear that 90s raves. It was a genre back then, like a techno. But currently, I'm not sure if it's at least in the beat part. It's not a genre. Yeah, you have main stage, which I only recently know it was a subgenre. The main stage was actually big room in the beatport, and then they just removed the name of big room because everyone was, starts to make big room techno or like other subgenres, other variations of big room, and then they just starts to call it main stage because that's the music you play in Ultra and Tomorrowland. So main stage is a genre. Even like there's the main stage techno, it's another genre. Also, it's the label of Dani Avila. Like, like there are tons of genres. It's like extremely confusing. If you go back to this track, I think you gotta work a little bit on the drops because the track has so much potential, bro. Just try to keep the drops more interesting with more ear candies and maybe try to make the low end a little bit more special. I will just check it out. Yeah. Nice demo, bro. Thanks for sending.
Me and that kick, we don't
such a nice track. It's a killer, man. Like the vocals are on point. The kick and bass is very nice. The arrangement is perfect. The melody is like it's so uplifting. It's so energetic. You could play it in a club, in a festival. I think that's a very nice track. So I just see in the graphic, you know. Just check the second drop. It's peaking minus 1.5 dB. Why it's not 0 dB? Like check the first drop, how loud it is. Check the second drop, how silent it is. I think you messed up some master automations in there. You see, like the second drop is silent than the first drop. So just try to fix it. Other than that, I think the kick in the sub, it's lacking some 60 Hz, 40 to 60 Hz, you know, the sub hit. So I will just volume up, like EQ up the kick a little bit, just like this. Just like this a little bit. I think that's enough. The bass is nice. The kick needs more body, more sub. The vocals are nice. The break is nice. Yeah, I don't have much criticism. Nothing in the arrangement for sure. But the second drop is too silent. Just check it out. Probably you forget some automation. Yeah, I think that's it, bro. Very nice track. I have nothing to say, you know. It's so sick. I just want to hear more sub from the kick. That's it in the drops. If you do that, the track is perfect. 10 to 10. Yeah, I agree. I think it's a nice remix. Yes, it's gonna be copyrighted when I upload this to the YouTube, but probably in the end I'm gonna just mute this track if I get copyright. No problems. Yeah, bro, like the very nice remix, but there's no breakdown in the track. It's always uplifting. In 4 minutes, it's never gets slowed down. There's always something. So I think I would add some breakdown. Some part that's just vocals, like the pads. Some parts, at least like an 8 bar, 16 bar to break the track, slow the vibe a little bit, give the people to rest for the side drop, because the side trance drop was perfect. I like it. The first drop was, yes, the build up was too sudden, the drop was kind of too sudden.
Each to your home that way, but we are two. Tell me why ain't nothing but
Maybe you could try some pre-drop. What makes a drop big is the pre-drop, is the build-up, is the part previously. So if you have more contrast in the previous part than the drops could impact much more bigger than it is already. So just think about it. You don't need to rush all the time. You don't need to have this much instant arrangements all the time. You can just break the track, have a gap, silence a little bit. That will make the drops sounds like a drop. But currently it's like a 4 minutes drop. That's my only criticism. Also, yeah, maybe the vocals kind of too loud. I'm not sure. That's personal preference, but I will just lower the vocals a little bit. It's kind of too upfront, but since it's a remix, it's a vocal remix, the lyric remix. Maybe that's okay. But overall, nice track. Thanks for sending this banger, brother. Oh, I'm a little bit tired, but let's keep go till the end. Yeah. Bro, like idea-wise, you have full of ideas, and I think the groove and the vibe the dark vibes are very on point. You just need to work more on mixing the sound selection. For example, the kick you choose has very lack of the power of the sub, the low frequencies. It's a very thin kick. So just work on the sound selection, and the best way to do it, find quality samples, and then try to find the samples that requires less processing. If you are a beginner producer, don't try to process the sound until you get the desired sound. No, just instead try to find the sound which is already polished, well processed. So find trust sounds. That's the first tip. The second, don't over process the sounds again. The overall arrangement, overall track is kind of lacking of ear candies. It's kind of sound empty. Try to feel it with more reverb. For example, in this section, the synth has too much high cut. You don't need to get rid of the high frequencies. I don't ever high cut a synth, which is, especially it's a main sound, For example, this plug sound only has mid frequencies, which is kind of risky. If you have this much 300 hertz, it's 100% gonna sound muddy, And there's nothing after 4 kilohertz. So there's only low mids in this sound. It's not gonna work. You need to have a rich spectrum, you gotta feel all the spectrum. Try to less process the sounds. Try them as they are. And for example, let's check the drop. In the build up, you need a bass, a respace, a sub bass, a hover bass. You can check my tutorials that the genre doesn't need to be same. You can find what kind of bass I'm using for the build ups, also the break sections, and for the drop. Again, we don't have anything after 4 kilohertz. So this track doesn't have any high frequencies. It's just have lows and the mids, and too much mids to be specific. So that's the feedback I can give it to you. And always work with a reference track. If you have a reference track, if you can find a similar track, just listen them A and B, compare them, and then you will just check it with Span, bro. It has all the answers you are looking for. You will see the reference track has more high frequencies. Just try to be the same, just like that. It's gonna improve you a lot. But your ideas, your vibe is perfect. Don't lose that sparkle. And now keep working on the technical stuff. Such a nice track, I like it. Okay, now jumping to this one. Another copyright strike for me. Actually, nice remix, man. I like it. The drop synth is too dry. I think you need to polish that sound a little bit, like maybe more saturation, some OTT, some more reverb. The drop, like the horn in the drop, it could have more reverb. Yeah, try to polish the sounds. They are kind of too dry now. The arrangement is very nice and on point. The next thing, I will just volume up the bass like at least 5 dB. The kick is very nice, but the bass is not there. It's like barely hearable. That's the only feedback. Actually, I enjoyed the quite the rest. Very nice breakdown. When this plug, the main sound is coming, you know, you hear how dry it is, how it needs to be polished. You say it's too dry, the sound in the drop. So try to polish this sound, make it so much bigger, wider, in your face. That's it, bro. Peace to Myanmar, brother. Appreciate it for the support. Okay, let's jump to next track. Like first of all, the break, the vocals, the energy, how the full the mix is. I'm amazed, bro. Well done with this banger. I think the second drop was below my expectations because the first drop was sick. The breakdown is awesome. The build-up is very nice. In the second drop, the synth was kind of meh, you know, for me. Let's check the synth. Because it's low octave, it doesn't have much more high frequencies that gives the intense energy, you know. So, you know, maybe this 2K, maybe it's also too flat. So I will just change the lead or EQ it, make it more in your face. That's the first thing I will do. People were talking about the impact. Imagine the impact it would have if it has a distorted respace as pre-drop. Let's. It's okay. It's okay. Yeah, maybe you are using endless smile, and when the impact hits, the endless smile automation is still there. You know, it makes it too much washed out. Maybe you could have a little bit cleaner impact. Just try that. Yeah, not the impact as a sound low. What do you mean, like? Oh yeah. Okay, never mind. The song impact in general. Yeah, now I got you, bro. It's 2 hours, man. My brain is cooked. First drop is sick, though. But still, like, also the first drop lead, it could have a little bit OTT. So both of the drops, the lead is in. So because this track is E, you know, and when you write a low E, like I think in the fifth octave, it's kind of too. It doesn't have much of the high frequencies, right? You need to compensate it somehow, maybe with processing. If you do that, the track is gonna be so much big, and it represent the energy so much better. So maybe you can layer another sound in higher octave. Maybe you can have a little bit something punchier, or maybe you can have OTT, or maybe, I don't know, saturation for the high frequencies. So try to give me a little bit more brightness from the lead itself. I think that's it, man. Very nice track though. Okay, let's jump to hyper.
The stars align when you pull me closer. I lose my mind and slowly fade away. I feel you near, but you're so far away. And I need you here, so won't you hold me down?
another very nice track. The emotions are on point. The arrangement is quick and fast, and it's very Spotify friendly. I like it. I think the kick is too short. Did you shorten the kick too much? Because like, I think there wasn't like a good kick hit. It was just like a transient, and then there was tons of bass. I think you need to compensate them, find a balance between them. I would have a longer kick with a bigger sub, bigger hit, bigger punch. Other than that, the bass is okay. So yeah, a bigger kick, maybe volume up the kick as well. Other than that, the melody was kind of too stable. I would expect some variations, especially in the last part. So it's like melodies playing the same thing over and over. You need some variations on them. So other than that, maybe in the last part you could add a top layer to the melody with the variations, like a extra layer. The sound should evolve, you know. It's gonna make the audience, you know, keep interested with the track. Also, Matt is right. The claps are kind of missing. Maybe volume it up, or maybe just have another layer of the claps. But rest is nice, bro. Like it's a nice ongoing production. Keep me posted if you need feedback on this. Nice one. Thanks for the feedback, man. Yeah, thank you. I'm doing my best to help you guys. So I'm a little bit tired, but I will just listen a couple more. Okay, I will skip the intro, bro. It's for you, Gabe's track. Let's go.
Take control. When we were 15, I remember the car rides, small fights, conversations all night. I never saw you as anything more than a friend, but now I see you in a new light. We're getting older, there's a sparkle in your eyes that wasn't there before. You give me butterflies, it makes me wonder if there could be something more. We were only kids when we first met. Now let's discover where we have been, yeah. I don't wanna wonder what could have been. So baby, take my hand. Take control.
speechless. Like one of the best arrangements for today. You know, I love it, man. Like the first drop is the bass. The bass pattern is killing. The second drop, the ARP is like, you know, I'm speechless, bro. Very nice track. You know, you could just work on the mix down, I think. Rest is perfect. The sample selection is already very nice. For example, in the first drop, let's check the lead. You know this dun dun, that's soul lead. It's kind of lack of body. So you should just put a rare on it, or just similar EQ, you know. Put the bandwidth to the middle, put the frequency to the 100, and then just boost it a couple dBs. And you will see that the sound is gonna have so much bigger body, and then it's gonna like starts to hitting, you know. Currently it's kind of too thin. Yeah, this sound definitely needs some rare to have some body. Other than that, the second drop, main ARP, it needs to be so much louder. It needs to be more in your face. So try to just put it more up front in the mix. In here as well, it's kind of sound, I don't know, like masked, but maybe not masked, but too pushed to the back of the mix. So try to make it like the main roll. Yeah, maybe just the volume up will fix it.
Take control.
Also, what if you put some top kick, maybe a little bit clicky top kick? So it could help the kicks to cut through the rest. But other than that, there's nothing to criticize, bro. I think it's very nice already. You made a sick job with this track. So much emotions, like especially the second drop, I think hits very hard. I enjoyed all of the parts. Like the break section also so emotional. The vocals are very nice. Yeah, overall is awesome. Thanks for the demo, bro. I like it. Jumping to next one. Again, nice house vibes from like the 90s, that vibe. Always you are bringing me that old school vibe. Also, this track, the vocal is like, I don't know which pack is from, but I made a track with it maybe 10 years ago, you know? It's never released. But when I listened to it, I reminded my first production days, and yeah, I made a big room track with this. At least I tried, you know. So very nice. I think that main the rave synth could be a little bit sidechained. Maybe it's too flat. I will just go bigger sidechain for that sound. So the first part is okay. Maybe I will introduce the bass earlier, but that's fine. There is no bass in the whole intro. Maybe just have some bass, I don't know.
You gotta feel the music. Do you understand?
Vocals could be louder.
It takes you higher and higher. You live and breathe this music. It's with you. You gotta feel the music. Do you understand? It takes you higher and higher.
So maybe in the build-up, you could just have a filter for the steps, you know, the main sound. So in the drop, it could come first time with this open cutoff. Maybe that could help the drops to impact bigger as well. So I would like to see the full arrangement for like couple loops. The idea is very promising. Yeah, other than that, I don't have much feedback on this. So my voice is already so tired. I'm speaking for 2 hours in here. Yes, I will go pick one more demo. I will do that. One more demo. After that, we will pick one more. I want to keep going, but I'm hungry and my voice is like, you know, like it's so hard to talk now. Okay, let's go. By the way, please don't forget to like the stream, guys. Liking is one of the best way to support the channel.
Never got that.
So actually very nice arrangement. The impact was missing in the second build-up, in my opinion. Like in here. Like this part was too sudden. Even the impact comes a little bit earlier. It should be a little bit late, I think, because it's like come before the melody ends. Also, the part with the melody was kind of empty. You need some background sounds in here. Yeah, the impact timing is wrong. The drop is nice, but again, kind of empty. You know what I will do? I will just add some rolling bass to this drop. It could just cover all the emptiness from it. Yeah, other than that, I think drop synth is nice. Maybe you can have some more automations on it. It's kind of too stable. I think that's the same sound with my previous release in Generation Smash, Lose Control. It's the same lead. But we made some pitch automations and like phaser, that kind of stuff to keep it interesting. You can try to do the same. Oh, Robert, you can send directly to my email. I can check it later. I will just listen one more for today. But if you feel lucky, you can post it to regular section and pray for the Discord gods. Maybe you get chosen. Last 3 demo is, yeah, last demo. I wanted to do this, but I'm very tired, guys. It's more than 2 hours now. Yeah, and I need some stuff to do. So, okay, last demo. Thanks for being with me. Yeah, I'm kind of losing my voice. Let's go to Discord. By the way, if you guys need feedback, I'm also providing personal feedback. You just check the memberships of my YouTube channel. So I think there's the producer tier. You know, if you can be a member of the producer tier, you can have one very detailed personal feedback over email with me. So I can just help one of your tracks in more detail than this. So also if you are thinking it professionally, you should consider to check that as well. Okay, last demo for today. Nick, it's yours, bro. Yeah, let's listen this banger.
Lost in the rhythm of chain escape. Lights flicker but vibrate. Echoes call from the underground. Bitch hits did up turning down. Lost in the rhythm of chain escape. Lights flicker but vibrate. Echoes call from the underground. Bitch hits did up turning down. Lost in the rhythm of chain escape. Lights flicker but vibrate. Echoes call from the underground. Bitch hits did up turning down. Lost in the rhythm of chain escape. Lights flicker but vibrate. Echoes call from the underground. Bitch hits did up turning down. Down, 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 down. Not turning down. Lights down, no turning down.
So actually, like, the overall vibe is very promising. Let's talk about several points. First of all, the track is carrying by the vocal, right? But the vocal doesn't in the flow. The vocal placement needs work. I think it's an AI vocal. It's very nice. You know, the lyrics are on point. The voice itself, the timbre is very nice. But the placement, but the chopping, you know, the prosody of the vocals are not in the flow. So for example, the sentence is kind of, it's in the beginning it's okay, but in the ending, the sentence is kind of ending a little bit of late, but the beats, and like it's becoming off the beat, you know, it's like in harmony, in sync with the kick and bass. So I will just work on the vocal and maybe simplify it. Maybe you don't need this much words, maybe have less words. Yeah, you gotta fix the vocal. That's the first thing. The second thing, the break arp. I'm enjoy the first drop, by the way. It's nice. It could have a little bit more variations. Also, I would add some rolling bass line. So currently the low end has a nice rumble, nice sub. It's good with the kick, but it's nothing special, you know. It could driven more because you have less elements in the track. You could have a rolling bass to fill up some space, add some groove to the track. Yeah, that's one of the biggest things. For the break section, the arp's kind of too stable and it's too long. It requires more ear candy, some, I don't know, some progression. Like it's... See, like the whole part is same, just with an arp and everything is going on over and over, kind of too similar. So you need some variations. Some automations from the ARP. And the second drop steps are kind of off key. I think yellow is right. Just check it out. And I don't think it's fitting the vibe, you know. At least if you want to go like this rave step kind of drop, at least you gotta tease me before that so I can get ready for what comes. But currently it sounds like a different drop. So I will just check it out. Other than that, the vibe is nice. The vocals is nice, but you gotta somehow fit it to the BPM. Chop it better. Or yeah, maybe that's the BPM thing. Maybe if you made the vocal by yourself, just try to chop the end part and make it fit. Maybe simplify it. And that's it. So thanks guys for today's stream. If you want more professional feedback, don't forget to check the membership of my channel. I can provide one-on-one personal feedback every month. So in 2 weeks, I will have Lunatic Radio. I'm gonna write my mail to the chat so you can send me your music. And other than that, see you soon, guys. If you have any questions regarding the production, don't hesitate to write me, reach me on Instagram if you have questions. I will try to help as long as I have some time. So, peace, guys. All the best. I love you guys.